Thank you, Dan. That's right, I am, of course, joined with the wonderful Snods. I've realised as well, this final kind of is the Endpoint X dumping ground, right? I mean, you also played for Endpoint.
Yes, obviously, me and Ezra used to play on the Endpoint lineup months and months. I say months and months ago. Would have been what, March, April maybe. But obviously, since then, there's been 2 iterations of Endpoint. There was the one with Pickles and, of course, Cryptics and whatnot. And then obviously now the new addition and the new team Endpoint. Actually, yesterday, the first time I actually saw them play on this new roster, the new 5 with YNC, Fashion, of course, Stanley from Method. So, in terms of skill, I said it yesterday, this is the most skillful lineup of Endpoint we've seen thus far, and that's someone who's actually played on the team themselves.
Oh, it's very true. It's new and improved. It's fresh. It's like Lucasade, but as if it was good. But the push is coming through. They do try and slip their way in straight away. YNC gets the opening frags, takes down Astro. Link will trade it back as they fall into a 4v4.
As you said it there, 1 minute 20 on the clock now. 4 versus 4. Bomb towards B apartment still. Going to be having LS lurk towards top middle. Then have Rezu towards ramp as well. He makes some presence there, trying to force a rotation for the CT side or some aggression. And now he's going to be rejoining the ranks back towards middle. So right now for CeX, they can go for the split towards A if they can pincer the A side through Connector. And of course, through Palace.
Stanley as well, tip turn through over by Short. He is just prodding and poking right now for info. Spots out the gun of Ellis. This is fantastic. He has all the time in the world to go for this push as well. Whips it a little bit though, serves up an apple crumble as they only tag him down to 30 HP.
Still the 4 versus 4 now. But look at the boost here as well from Link. Mighty Max. White faces there. Link perches himself up, goes in towards window, and now suddenly we have the 3 versus 3.
A tight situation. Oh, he barely tanked as he tried to get away and get through this round unscathed. But it is a 3 versus 3 retake. They have a kit and they have a smoke. Those are going to be the important factors into the late round, but the push is actually coming out as well. The double face from Lincoln Kobadimi, sniping away. He knows how to hold an ult, but he knows how to transfer that to his pistol skills as well as he does damage. Link caught off guard. The timing is horrendous, and Stanley gets the final frag. They will get the opening pistol.
Stanley there, even if Imi or Fash had gone down there from Link towards CT, he still would have had Stanley's insurance policy from behind to take down those 2 remaining players from CeX, and the pistol going in favor of Endpoint. Endpoint, of course, picking Mirage after seeing how poorly CeX played it yesterday. CeX losing out to Radix 16-2 on this map. CX's T side looked lackluster, fruitless. I'm trying to think of other words because it seemed like they didn't have structure, right? They're going for individual plays, individual duels towards middle, and they kept getting shut down.
Seemed very defecated.
Very defecated, yes.
Yes, they did indeed. Sad as well, I imagine.
Probably sad after losing. I think it was 14 rounds in a row, something ridiculous. Obviously, Endpoint yesterday on Train won 15 rounds in a row. Speaking to the players, they actually thought Train was going to be in the map pool, one of the 3 maps, but I believe CeX were a bit scared of how well Endpoint played Train last night. Oh, yeah, yesterday. Not morning, what was it? Midday? Yesterday, midday, so of course, for CeX, already showing some fear before the server even went live.
It's very true, and as well, one of the big things to sort of touch on, some of the players on the side of CeX, this is more an environment where they're not going to be so used to it. You've got the roaring crowd, everyone banging around and making a lot of fuss out there. Some of the newer players on the side of that roster, you've got players like Dom that have, really only been involved in 1 grand final before, and it's a completely different environment. That was an epic LAN where it's a lot more calmer, a lot more surrounded by people that only other players from the UK scene, whereas now he's in front of a huge crowd.
I think the best example, the best way I'll put it, is whenever I was nervous and I was playing Copenhagen games, for example, or whatever, I'd always be very lively, talkative and whatnot, and that was just pure nerves, right? You saw as the CeX players walked out, Dom and Link were looking at each other laughing, trying to look calm and collected, but actually, probably was just the nerves showing, the LAN jitters potentially, and you saw what happened. YNC walked out, didn't even look at the crowd, looked straight at the floor. He kept his focus on the game and nothing else.
I think we saw a bit of Joe Brady, Bob Pass as well there.
Shout out to Joe Brady, the best photographer.
Well, there you go, mate.
There you go. There you go.
But yeah, it has been good as well. They had a nice showing yesterday, and we touched on Dom, the fact that potentially he might be a little bit nervous, but he wasn't showing that yesterday. Very effective, lots of huge impact frags, and I cannot wait to see that when we dive straight back into the action once again with this matchup. Endpoint, you get the opening pistol round, we expect them to get the following 2, but where do we go from there on a map like Mirage?
Well, the bomb was planted, so it's not really the following 2. As the bomb was planted, it should be a full eco coming out from CeX into the round number 2. Glocks, PT-50s and whatnot. And then going into round number 3, they will be able to buy the AKs as long as they do save this round. But of course, we are still waiting for the pause. Could be anything from in-ears. There was a problem yesterday. We had a 5-minute pause yesterday, Jack, because Link forgot to bind jump throw.
All right. The old illegal bind that's now legal.
That's now legal, yeah.
The old controversy there, but everyone is absolutely, apart from that one guy, he's not loving it.
The one guy in the front.
He is furious. But everyone else is loving it as they clap away.
So, headsets are going back on. Should be going live shortly. Seen in front of your screens right now to the right, that's Rezu, the captain of the CEX side. And that's what they're all playing for. The trophy, but not only that. Obviously, if you win ESL Premiership, you'll be moved into the Mountain Dew League, Premier League, where you'll be facing off versus some top European teams, Gambit, Space Soldiers, Epsilon, Flipside. Having that sort of experience is priceless, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, some of the only players that are actually competed in Premier before on this stage from the UK, there's only really a handful of them when you look at it, and the majority of them we can see on that Endpoint side. Imi and Mighty Max, obviously, you yourself took place in a
SEO as well.
Premier, and SEO, yeah, over on the desk.
So,
you can see there, having a sit.
Yes, it did. Oh, we are going live now. Great. So we'll be the Felica coming from CeX. They're going for a Palace burst out towards A, 4 towards Palace. Flashbang over. They're trying to get 1 or 2 kills. Let's see what happens.
Oh, Mighty Max ready, but it's going to be Stanley to find the first few frags. He's going to go for the cash builder, roll the dice once or twice as it comes back in his favour. Amy going to get 1 frag. Stanley for the final one. An Endpoint, only 1 casualty, but he pays it off. He's paid off the loan as he got the double kill with the UMP.
Only issue is the fact that the MP9s found no kills. Obviously, with those MP9s, you want to play aggressive, get the kills versus the full ecos, because ideally, you don't really want to be bringing those into round number 3. If the bomb's planted, you see a lot of teams buy Thamuses versus the full eco, then they can have the Thamuses versus the AKs in round number 3. You usually see the AWPers go for MP9s because if you get 1 or 2 kills, it almost buys itself, it does buy itself back, and then you can buy the AWP into round number 3 versus 5 AKs. But no AWPs in the server currently as we go into round number 3. 1 minute 40 left on the clock. Bomb still towards T-spawn. CEX yesterday played heavy towards mid, fast and aggressive towards middle. And you can see the difference they've had overnight. They've definitely restructured their T-side defaults, so they're playing very passive.
Yes, it's true. I feel like today isn't going to be a good day for CEX, though, Snons. I think they are going to have to use their AKs.
Potentially, obviously. Before they could even use their weapons yesterday, they're just getting AWP by Border Master. But now the smokes are starting to fade. You can see some aggression starting to show.
Will they try and peek out for a little prod and poke, as they are going to tag a few of the Endpoint players down ever so slightly. Just a small little love tap, but LS starts to kick it into overdrive. Runs out, gets 1. Stanley to trade back on towards Rezu. The Starman is down and out. Nice double molly as well. Don't overface, don't try and push the round. Just Molotov in, force LS back, and they have to restructure their approach.
4 versus 4, Stanley is low as well. Seems that they may just go for a re-hit towards middle. Towards, sorry. Dom. Towards underpass, he has a smoke double flashbang. He can smoke window, allow players to come out from top middle. He can smoke window, flash towards connector, flash towards short, try and force a rotation potentially from B, have a player push off short, have that player number 3 fasher towards default, peek towards middle, try and cause some diversion from the attack that's happening right now towards A.
Running straight out though as they want to try and chime in hugely into the round. They're doing work, 2 frags going to go their way. It's a 2v4, massively outnumbering the opposition. But Imi tiptoes over. He has time to play with. Has support with YNC as well, but the downside is he only has the MP9, not a real rifle to aid him in the scenario. He perches himself up, wants to try and peek in, will get a tag, but it's not quite a frag. YNC wants to trade out, I imagine, to the M4, just waiting for exits. Potentially, if he can find a couple of frags, soften the blow that is going to be done to the Endpoint economy, as they know this round is over.
Right now for YNC, he knows the money is low for CEX. If he plays for exit kills, tries to deny players staying alive with their AKs. But obviously no one going to be rotating, or sorry, exiting through CT spawn. They seem to be wiser than that. They're going to be saving towards T-spawn where they know it's safe, where someone else is cleared on full HP. As we go into round number 4 now, it'll be 2-1 and 6, win the first buy round. Endpoint though, because they won that eco of 4 players staying alive, they can still buy up into this one, or being dropped over to Imi. Interesting to see how he used this one. We know that CeX like to go for underpass control. Usually Dom, Resi go towards underpass. Burden Master yesterday was exploiting that with the AWP. Could, with the AWP, smoke out connector, peek towards underpass, get that first kill, go back towards connector and A. Instead, though, this time CeX changing the pace, going fast towards top middle. Last time they waited 20 seconds at the top mid. Obviously not expecting the AWP to be brought up by Imi.
Wow, should have been a frag there as well. Nicely done, but unfortunately couldn't quite get the connection with that shot. Stanley is going to make it work out. It is only a 1-for-1 though, so back in the hands of the T's, ideally at this point, it's going to favour them. They have a little bit of map control as well. They're pushing the waters towards mid.
Stanley there, went for the aggression towards underpass, as I said, but eventually got traded out. That's going to be favouring the T side. Now Imi is low HP as well, being spammed towards window after he took that shot. And with that, they lose his round, they'll be on Eco, but look at the push here from YNC.
Oh, Yannick. He could be such a huge catalyst if he gets this kill on Rezu, but Rezu was ready for it. Strikes with the AK as he will take him down. They know now as well. They can capitalize off the back of that huge impact frag. Take position towards B, slip in towards the site and lock it down. Fasher, normally incredible in terms of his ninja aim, and he wants to show that off. We'll get one as he starts to flex his muscles, but what more can he achieve here? Gonna reposition round close by Trunks, spots out Dom, but it's an awkward firefight, and he couldn't quite win it. You can see the backstab as well in Astro. This could be so huge. He gets the first headshot. Dom as well, gonna capitalize on towards Imi, and it's a 2-2.
Why are they not saving the AWP? They win the round, they break the Endpoint economy, they know that Imi had an AWP towards Kitchen, and instead one of the players just ran off short. Well, then again, obviously, seems like maybe they don't want to play with the AWP. We see this, well, they've been changing the pace. First go round, they played very, very slow. They expected Endpoint to push middle, I believe, with the SMGs, that's why they played slow. Second round, they did the top mid smoke, they went out middle fast. They tried to show aggression early on. CeX yesterday looked shook is a good way to describe it. Apprehensive, tentative to go and make those plays. Today, as the underdog, seems like all the pressure is on Endpoint. I think Ben said it best. This is Endpoint's final to lose.
Yeah, it's true. It's only up to them if they want to throw this one away. They are the superior players. When you look at it, they definitely have the most skill and the advantage going into this. Fasher as well. Jump spots, knows the location of Dom. Just wants to try and do a bit of damage here, ideally. Scavenger weapon if possible. Dom, though, does have the Mach 10, so if he goes down to him, it's going to be a little bit awkward as he will help their economy grow.
So far, so good for CeX. 2 kills now found by Dom with the Mach 10. The gun you want to be able to establish extra money. And even though he dies, Fash is only going to be picking up and retrieving a Mach 10 off of the corpse from Dom, so not really a weapon he can be bringing into the next buy round. The Mach 10 getting 2 kills has already brought itself back. CeX now, they'd have 4 players stay alive with these AKs, save their cash, save their money, and keep their money afloat so that even if Endpoint are winning rounds, CeX can continuously buy and buy time again.
Oh, Max. He's spotted out as well by a Link, and he will be able to rip his way through him with the AK-47. Fasher going to get out of this one scot-free, it seems, as he will have the Mach 10 and the smoke going for into the next round. No armor investment or anything, though, so it's not that great of a save, but at least he gets himself something.
Yeah, I mean, if you're trying to go for the extra kills right now, the Mach 10 is good. Obviously, 1 kill with the Mach 10 from Fasher, that's $600. That's a incendiary grenade. And obviously, a map like Mirage, those Molotovs are so crucial. Tight choke points towards ramp, towards Palace. Fasher being a B player, sorry. The Molotov towards B apartments, towards short to deny the split. Can pay dividends later on into the rounds. But anyway, we're going to round number 6 now, 2-3. CeX with the lead. It's actually going to be the quasi-buy coming from Endpoint, so they are waging a lot on these AWPs. Obviously, Imi being the IGL caller and the primary AWPer, he's the one that has the decisive call as to whether or not they will go for the 4-buy, the Eco, or the Force. And instead, they want all the presents when they have the AWPs.
Dom going to go straight in, though, as he will get sidelined by Mighty Max here with the CZ. It's a double tap. A beautifully done shot here as he's hungry for more as well. Will try and take the second bite, but couldn't quite gobble it down in time. The response is here for the CT side, though. Everyone teaming in as they want to storm straight through and deny control by the Ts, but they're doing work. LS with a beautiful double kill. Link for the final one as well as CeX continue their dominant streak.
4-2, and here comes the second buy round here. The third, sorry. This one's crucial. CeX tested on Mirage. They lost 16-2, and already they doubled their scoreline they had yesterday. 5 AKs once again, so maybe the fact that they actually didn't pick up and retrieve Imi's AWP from window, sorry, towards Kitchen, there's actually method behind the madness because maybe they want to play that execution-heavy style of CS. And you can see already 4 players going towards Palace. LS as well. He can smoke off CT, flush them out of Palace if they want to go heavy and aggressive. Only issue here is look at Stanley towards stairs and towards connector. He could easily mow them down as they try to exit through Palace.
Imi as well with the AWP now doing a bit of work as he will take down Rezu. Nicely played by Stanley here, just bobbing in and out as he's finding so many kills. This is the Stanley we need to see. Oh, he goes huge for the final frag. A quad kill from Stanley, and Endpoint finally start to make it work a little bit better for themselves. Now Stanley as well, a map like Mirage, this is where he really started to build his career off of. We saw him back in the days, you know, he was on the I think it was all 4 at the time. This is absolute yonks ago.
This is before me.
Yeah, when they were able to actually take easy skins. They were the only team that took easy skins to a draw, essentially. Back then when easy skins were this massive team, that's where people were like, damn, this Stanley guy, absolutely wrecking face.
Yeah, and the thing is as well, he came up in the scene alongside Fry1.
Yep, the brother in arms.
Exactly. They played together a Method and the Odd FM lineup for so long. Obviously, for our Endpoint, if we're going to break down the roster, Mighty Max, Imi, staples of the roster, of course. They've been in every single iteration of Endpoint. YNC from Lowland Lions. ESL, Benelux champion, brought in. Fasha qualified for FPL. Seen for his potential, his individual aim, his crisp headshot percentage. Being brought in just for raw talent and raw skill. Sometimes you need those players that go in first, that will get those headshots. And Stanley, brought over from Method, the previous best UK team. Now maybe Endpoint are trying to make the argument of being #1. We are going to be having a pause again. It's the same PC. I think it's going to be Imi, the IGN captain, sitting in the middle, having the issue once again.
Yeah, so just going to be getting that sorted out and be jumping straight back into the action. A close match so far. You can see it can go either way. You've got the raw talent and the time that comes into effect here from a team like CEX, right? What they've done is they've had so much time to pump research in. You've got the coach as the IGL now because of things changing behind the scenes. They do have a lot of potential. Meanwhile, on the Endpoint camp, it's not quite enough time to really grow into the perfect setup yet because they've been restricted. They haven't enough practice time. They are really only a new lineup, especially with Stanley finally being able to actually play for them because of that transition period out of Method and everything being a little bit up in the air. So now finally having that secure solid 5, Jakey back at the helm in terms of coaching, providing that extra layer, this is where they can improve. And if they win this, I feel like this is the start of the journey. Whereas for CEX, this is them trying to put this chapter to a close, try and lock this down. They've had a great online season, they've had some ups and some downs, but they want to try and close it out of a bang.
Yeah, it's interesting as well you mentioned the fact that I've actually forgotten what I was about to say then.
Well done.
Well done, well done. I was going to say, you're right about the fact that CX trying to close that chapter where they went 6-1 online.
Yep.
I believe they only dropped the map versus Reason Gaming, I believe. I'm trying to remember. Actually, no, CX, it was it Radix? Oh, of course, yeah, it was Radix on Overpass. When they lost 16-5, but apart from that, they dominated everyone. And for CX having such a good online season, this isn't about making it to Premier and winning the Premiership as much as it is proving a point that they're not just onliners.
Yeah, they've struggled at every LAN event they've been to. I think that's fair to say. We've always seen them taking early departures out of epic LANs, being able to, you know, not get that first place at an I-Series up against a mixed team. I mean, the last time we actually saw some of these players face off in a LAN environment like this at the UK Masters Final was against Yannick, was against Mighty Max.
I believe it was. But of course, people that won the last Premiership, Jack, was Stanley.
Yeah, Stanley
on FM. Home. Exactly. Stanley wants to make this back-to-back ESL championships, and now especially the fact that the winner of this finals will be qualified for the Mountain Dew League in Premier. And that is, I don't want to say life-changing, obviously not, but game-changing for a team that's trying to make it and trying to integrate themselves into the European Counter-Strike scene. Playing versus, you can prac versus all the best teams in the world, but it's nowhere near the same as actually having those officials, those 2 games a week in Premier that really do build up your experience.
Yeah, just getting yourselves in that environment where even, you know, if you're unable to really dominate early on and top the league or get anywhere towards the top score, but as long as you keep in Mount MDL and do not get relegated and you use it for what it is and that practice against these top teams consistently to make a name for yourself to display, once again, the UK has some formidable talent, it would be a great storyline.
Yeah, you can see Fasha giving a sigh there. Obviously, he understands as well, he wants to get this one over with. One of the issues of being a player sometimes is you get so amped up. Yeah. Same thing happens to casting as well sometimes when there's pauses. You get so amped up, you get so revved up to cast or play or be in the moment for the match, and then suddenly there's a pause, there's a delay or something like that happens, and then you have to try and build yourself back up. For these players, they're itching to go.
Yeah, raring to go, ready to get back into the action. A little fist bump there, a bit of a rub down.
Be going live soon.
Yeah, it seems like everyone is ready for the action, I can only imagine so. So we will be jumping straight back in. But what are Endpoint going to do now? Endpoint slightly on the back foot, they're on their heels, but can they jump back to the lead?
Obviously, thanks to Stanley, they had a very commanding win on the last buy round. I believe they had 3 players stay alive as a bare minimum, or maybe even 4, so you can see already 3,000-ish across the board for 3 players for Endpoint, which means even if they lose this round, 3 players can buy when they go into the force buy. For CX right now, they have to chain rounds together. They have to get to round number 5 to 3 scoreline. Win versus this buy round. Win versus another fairly weak buy. Force out the ecos, and we could easily be seeing a 7-3 scoreline if CEX win this round. That's a big ask. Stanley again going towards connector, does the smoke here. And from there, he's hoping that someone peeks towards underpass, Link or Dom like we saw in the last round. But instead, Link this time, he's learned from his previous mistake here, knowing that Stanley likes to get aggressive towards underpass. And now he's a little bit more tentative and apprehensive to go for the wide face.
Everyone just reshuffling right now as they back off Astro. He has donned the AWP. Now, Astro usually was known for their very explosive, aggressive AWPing style. It looked good on the online season. Are we going to see that here in the LAN environment?
I actually thought he was better at rifling. I know that might sound harsh because he wants to AWP, but I actually felt like the best iteration of CEX we've seen in recent times was actually when they had Hemsky and Dances, and Hemsky or Dances was AWPing, and Astro was calling with the rifle. Anyway, though, into round number 8 now, 4-3 is the score, and Endpoint 1 round behind. Smoke comes out towards top connector. Let's see if Stanley's going to battle, but actually there's a gap in the smoke.
Oh, Stanley's so good at reading those plays as well, as he's able to get around the smoke, look through the small gap, flashbang as well. He's going to try and risk it as he charged straight in, so clever, but he wasn't able to pull that one out of the bag. Imi keeps it working in their favor, though. It's a 3v4. They have the man advantage, essentially just have to play for trades at this point and slow down the tempo. No reason to throw this away.
But enough, he's fast. In his way towards the B-bomb, so he's going to spot YNC rotating back, and they know exactly where he is, and they can just swarm him.
Oh, but they still can't find the frags. Rezu will get one as he goes for the drive-by with the AK. Runs with his knife out as he gets stuck. This is absolute lunacy in how they've played this round. Fasher, though, the double kill towards the end. It is going to be a 4-4. Endpoint straight back in.
Round number 9 now. Scoreline equalized. Now the big question for CEX. How much money are they going to have left after this buy? 4,600 to Astro, but apart from that, he's the only one that can buy if they do lose this round. Dom can maybe as well. We saw yesterday CX versus Radix, they kept force buying these weird buys. 2 CZs, 3 AKs, weak utility, or 1 CZ, 4 AKs. Anyway, let's see if they can change things up here. 5 AKs this time, no AWP for Astro.
Stanley, Nate goes out with the HEs or the Molotovs to play with as well, as they do want to try and charge straight towards him, and the headshots are going in their favor, but Max sends Dom off to the Burns ward. He's not going to be too happy about that one. Rezu lurking around, though, finds the headshot on Fasher. They only have 2 players remaining on that CT side. They've been a little bit overzealous, but they do have control of the bomb.
They know where Rezu is. YNC does win that duel, and now into the 2 versus 2. Both players towards Palace and Ramp, and they have to retrieve the bomb here. Mighty Max and YNC playing off the bomb. This is a good play here from Endpoint.
Oh, 2 fantastic players on the side of Endpoint alive in these clutch scenarios. So cool, calm, and collective when they get into these really tight, horrible spots. They're just waiting out for the push to come towards them, though. The bomb is down. They still have control of that at the least. LS dons the AWP, perched in, scopes in, trying to find something, but no one wants to offer themselves up.
Max, good rotation here towards jungle, trying to see if he can catch Link off guard. Bomb has been retrieved, but the thing is that will Max let them get back to site? And yes, he has. YNC, do not push that smoke, because if he does, stunning Max to be left in the 1 versus 2. They have kits, no smokes, Molotov them a flashbang. Let's see what they can do.
Nice HE goes out as well as transfers damage. LS is so low, it's all on Max. Normally, you'd bet he'd win these situations. Goes for the spam, but it's not meant to be. Link is able to find the frag on 11 HP.
My goodness. That round's going to be a tough pill to swallow for Endpoint. You have a 2-man advantage there. Actually, no, I believe it was the 1-man advantage. Of course, Dom did get the kill onto Stanley. You have a 4 versus 3, and you have complete control of the bomb. Bomb is dropped towards top connector. No one from CeX is anywhere near the bomb. And somehow, some way, Endpoint give away kills across the map. They don't play off of it too early. Nevertheless, they're around number 10. Let's see, Endpoint CZ onto Stanley and YNC. They're going for the full force. Endpoint's money being reset after winning the last gun round. CeX, if they win this one, they get to 6-4. They're playing versus a full eco. 7-4 will be the scoreline if CeX win this round, as I mentioned before. If CeX get to 7 already, after losing the pistol as well, this is the crucial thing. After losing the pistol, so far CeX have won 5 gun rounds, while Endpoint have only won 2.
Max. He's in position playing around the smoke here. It is going to be the A strike. They have a lot of utility to aid them in their play as well. Zone out the CTs, force them to bend, try and break that defense. Max, nice HE going to roll through. Should transfer a bit of damage. Not too much, actually. Transferred towards Dom there, but at least it will slow them down ever so slightly.
Bomb coming out towards ramp here. 4-man player, contact play from CeX. They're going to use the manpower to try and plow the site.
brute force, try and bully the CTs and work their way through. Stanley with the Seeds Egg going to get a tag off as Max is going for the double kill. LS a little bit uncomposed there as he panics. Mighty Max still on the scene of the crime, just roaming around before he's eventually punished and taken down by Link with the AK-47. It's a 3v3. Imi trying to play on the timing. If he peeks into this, LS will get it as he just holds the contact angle, but Imi just going to try and play around the smoke, plays it correctly, finds the shot, takes him down as it's a 3v2 now. The bomb still in an awkward location as well. Time is starting to tick away. They have to force the play here. Yannick with the headshot. Nice CZ frag comes into effect and Rezu is trapped in a 1v3. Time is almost done. Gets sidelined by Yannick.
Awful CT smoke there thrown by CeX. They have the 3 versus 3. A massive gap in the smoke gives away their early kill towards triple boxes. And in the 3 versus 2, they couldn't really surmount the win. 5-5 now. CeX are the ones to get reset. As it seems like they're the ones that are going to go for the half buy here. CZ's Deagles, obviously they are on a 1.4k run-off bonus in this round, and so the next one they get 1.9. So they will be up. Well, they will be able to buy up into round number 12. But at that point, it should be 6-5 in favour of Endpoint unless someone goes huge with these pistols.
It's a bit more reckless here for CeX as well. You just get a couple of upgraded pistols out. You've got the Deagle and LS. He's just trying to run the risk a little bit. Going to, peek out, see what he can find. He doesn't see too much that he likes to look off towards the A site, though.
He may back towards middle. Could be a dangerous game here if he peeks out versus these pistols and gives away his scalp. But of course, it's still the 5 versus 5, 1 and 20 left on the clock. The bomb back towards top middle. Standing there, the nice headshot onto Rezu, going to take down the player of Rezu and Astro, and now on the 5 versus 3. YNC's low, but they still have the 2-man advantage here for the CT side. LS still alive and kicking, a bit of a nuisance. Oh, he's going to be spotted here by Max. The panic comes through. Max will capitalize. Nice cash bonus as well. And the thing is, all Yannick's going to do is stay alive, essentially. Oh, Link with a bad whiff there as well. So if he stays alive, no casualties in the round for Endpoint, they'll finally have a chance to build that economy. They won't get reset, and they're going to be quite chuffed with themselves. They want a few kills here versus Endpoint. Try and dent and whittle down that CT economy as much as possible going into the remainder of this first half of this best of 3 grand final. 30 seconds left now for Dom. Here's the bomb. You can see how passive Imi's playing as well. So if he gets the kill onto Stanley, there's a chance he may be able to get the bomb plant.
Oh, he gets the tag, but he couldn't convert. Stanley will take him down with the M4. They get the lead. Endpoint starting to drift ahead now as they get that extra round. But will they continue that? Is this going to be now working more in their favor? What are we looking at here? I mean, there's potential if they want to try and link these rounds together, maybe somewhere in the region, that 10-5 scoreline, try and get that in the bag, give themselves a sable half here towards the end.
We can see already they have about $4,000 across the board for the side of the CTs, which means even if they lose this round, they can still buy up into round number 13. As a bare minimum run out for Endpoint after winning the pistol, they want a 9-6 scoreline on their CT half before they do swap over to the unfavored T side.
They need something more than what they're getting right now, though, as Fasha will fall first. Yannick as well, just waiting it out as he is in position to cause havoc, but it's Imi to snipe them down with the AWP as he gets one, ready for the second, has to readjust, though. Link going to connect the shot with the AK. Imi still starting to spray away. It's a 2v2 clutch-based situation. Link, he's got the AK. Oh. He knows how to wield it. Will take down Stanley. That's a huge frag, but it's all on Max with the UMP. If
there's one person who wanted this scenario right now, it's the Mighty Max, but actually gets caught off guard there by LS, peeking towards apartments. Whiffs the flashbang as well, so he doesn't even get the flash to work with. Gets spotted out again towards apartments as the UMP in the scenario. If he had an AK on M4, there's a chance, but right now, versus the better fire-powered opponents, there's not really too much you can do. Manages to flush out one player towards the open. Link is low. Ellis is as well, actually. Has the kit and the smoke. There's still a chance. He gets the first kill onto Ellis. A nice headshot. Now Link is low. Tries to spot out, whips out the USP. He needs to land the headshot instantly. Oh. And he does it. 7-5 now, somehow, some way, Endpoint managed to bring this one back.
Mighty Max, we said he is the man to look out for in clutch situations. An absolute gamer.
It's the best way to describe him. CeX throwing that one away. I mean, LS, if he got mollied out. This is the thing from Max. He played this very well. You saw he didn't panic, he didn't overcommit, he didn't overface. He was jiggle peeking. And the thing I like about that player as well is he didn't actually commit to going for it until he spotted that second player, Link. As soon as he knew where they both were, he flushed that one and took 2 individual 1 versus 1s.
Max once again on your screens, but Dom is being a little bit dirty as he goes for the double dig. Dom running a havoc on the site. Absolute ridiculous stuff there. There is a trade back for me, but it's just the one kill. They don't have the strong firepower as well. Weak arsenal for CeX. Didn't even recover the AK from under yet. It's still just sitting there as the push is starting to slow down. They've secured the site, got themselves after plants. The retake is on the cards, but Endpoint need to find some frags soon. Fash will be the one to get a double though, as they can now make the play work. Astro over CZ is a close range angle, but he loses his head.
Another round they've thrown away potentially. Thankfully that the bomb was planted, that means extra cash for them into the next round. Not quite too sure what Dom and Rezu were doing, or I believe it was Dom and Astro there towards center side, just overfacing towards Fasha there, giving away the 2-man advantage. Nevertheless, they're around about 14, penultimate round here of this first half as it goes 8-5. A 3-round lead for Endpoint after winning the pistol on the CT side. They want, as a bare minimum, as I said, a 9-6. But of course, that 10-5 scoreline is going to be looking juicy for them.
Absolutely. Cheeky stuff coming out from either side here, but let's see how it is going to continue. Endpoint, they can get a 10-5, they're going to be chuffed.
Yeah. Then again, though, CeX are definitely showing a better face than they did yesterday on Mirage. For me, it's likely Endpoint do win Mirage, and then there's a chance CeX can take over pass, and it's anyone's game on cash. But then again, CeX, if they take the remaining 2 rounds, there's a chance again. Anyway, Dom, let's get the trade go down to Stanley. Imi whiffing a nice and easy shot there towards winner, but nevertheless going to go back towards CT, see if we can get some more chances. Mighty Max as well towards A. Going to be halting the aggression from LS, and now on the 4 versus 3, it's still the man advantage here for Endpoint.
Yeah, it was so important he actually stayed alive there as well. And they needed to keep him alive and kicking, or else it would have been a 3v3. Once they get a horrible situation to be in, it favors the T's, they can do what they want. Now, he's making his presence known towards A. If they're going to push out, it's so hard. You basically have to accept you're going to lose at least one of those players on the entry through.
Imi is low, but he has the orb, so it doesn't really matter. Misses the shot again, but they can still reposition and cause havoc that way. They know he's towards CT, so they're going to expect that jungle is open. Little do they know, though, Fasha is holding and waiting for the vent.
Fasha is ready, M4 out. Gets the first as he will connect the headshot. Beautifully done, but don't overextend here. Don't get too confident and throw this one away.
Oh, Fasha, not expecting the play from Dom. Imi really into the orb as well, and suddenly Dom's from behind. Fasha, yes, to win the draw versus Dom, and Dom wins it. Then they would have had the B-bomb site, but Astro now in the 1 versus 3. Doesn't know that Mighty Max is actually towards jungle, misses the no-scope, and actually Max whiffs as well, so there's a chance for the bomb to be planted, potentially.
Incredibly awkward. Molotov goes down as well. He only got 10 seconds. They could kill him after time here, potentially, but they do go for the push. He was trying to get the commit on the bomb plant, so he got the extra cash. Instead, they get nothing.
Well played CT side up there from Endpoint. You saw the way they styled things on their CT side defense, and their reply and their reaction to what they saw. They're expecting an A split from Connector. So you saw Mighty Max push towards ramp. He got that 1 versus 1. He won the duel. He pushed towards ramp. He gave up control of Connector. Fasha played towards CT support, holding for the push towards the vent, which we saw him get a kill there from. And then Amy went all the way back in defensive position towards ticket booth, and they gave up control of Connector. But still, they were in position where they could all play up with each other and get kills across the map.
They want to try and go for a bit more of a standardized play here, it seems. Go for the B take. They have the utility. They have the nades, they have the natural tools to win the round, but can they do so? Setting themselves up. Early spam comes out from Yannick as he's a little bit paranoid of that smoke, not quite sure what's hiding behind it.
4-1 style of CS here. LS alone towards one, has no grenades though. Here it comes, the flashes, the execution begins, and here comes the assault towards B.
They open up the floodgates as they want to try and explode in towards the side, but it's just all coming up Fasha right now. Furiously snuffed as he just rips his way through all of them. It's on Rezu and LS. They are going to go down. Fasha's on for the ace right now, as LS is the last man alive on that T side. He will fall to Yannick, and that's a 10-5 half.
Endpoint, after winning the pistol, it wasn't looking too good for them, but then again, they found that composure. Remember, it was a 3-5 scoreline. Endpoint, they were 1 round away from being reset. If CeX had won that round, that could have easily been a 7-4 scoreline. But instead, Endpoint, you had the massive clutch, from Mighty Max that actually broke the money from CeX, who went reversal. This is a big pistol round now for CeX. If they lose as one of their CT side, they will go down in a deficit potentially of 13-5. When you factor in the pistol round win for Endpoint, 11-5. Winning versus the Force Spy, 12-5, and the Eco, 13-5. Could easily be the scoreline, sorry, if Endpoint do win this pistol.
So much to play for here on the opening pistol as well. This basically decides whether or not they're going to be able to try and progress through in the second half, or if Endpoint are going to get this under their belt. 13 rounds secured off the back of that is essentially how it should go. And that's so close to locking down map 1, taking Mirage of a Storm.
Round number 16 now. Second pistol here of the first map of the grand finals. Aggression already towards ramp. Dom going towards Sandwich, and actually this off angle should be able to catch Endpoint off guard and see what they can do. If they can land the headshots though when the push really does come to shove.
Dom waiting it out, support with Link. They've got that 3-man setup as they are tapping away, but they're a little bit blind, a little bit unsure of where they are. Oh, it's awkward, but he finds the shots he needs, but it comes up 3 frags for Endpoint. It's just LS and Rezu remaining, and they are miles away.
It's an old strat we used to do. Smoke towards stairs, smoke towards jungle. You double HE grenade the players that use smokes towards CT, and you can see they got that kill onto Link from CT off the back of those HE grenades. But here comes the retake 2 versus 4. They have no kit.
Oh, Rezu in the background though. Flashbangs there, a little bit awkward as they are just roaming around. They're actually finding the frags they need to get, but it's Yannick and Mighty Max to close it out. They get the opening pistol, and they start to set themselves up for what could be a very fast first map here.
11-5, Endpoint winning both pistols. Usually on a map, when a team wins 2 pistols, you've got to be expecting them or favouring them to win. The reason being is you win the pistol round, you win versus the Force Buy, versus the CZs, the Scouts, no Kevlar and whatnot. You win versus the Eco. That's essentially 3 rounds, right? You times that by 2, that's 6 rounds. You need 16 rounds to win. That's almost a third of the rounds you need to win off the back of just the pistols, forgetting, of course, the buy rounds. Anyway, though, round number 17, 11-5 with the scoreline. The Force Buy is in friction right now for CEX.
Rezu has to try and drop down with the scout. LS is there as well as the flashes do start to come through. They are blind and confused, expecting this push to come in. Are they going to be ready for this Endpoint? They've got the map control as well. Look at this, uncontested Imi allowed to take short control.
I'm short now already. Rezu with the scout, he has no Kevlar, 32 HP for him. Just one shot from this AK will take him down. Does get, oh, actually doesn't even get the tag off there. His teammate, LS, will go down, standing against the double with the triple entry there of the MAC-10. That's $1,800 instantly injected into Stanley's balance. And now Link, I was going to say Dom as well, but Dom will go down. This is going to be Link now trying to play for Rexits and try see if he can scavenge any scraps that's left over. And there you have it, 12-5, 7-round advantage already here for Endpoint as we go into round number 18, but it's going to be the Eco now from CX on the CT side. It's a disaster so far for CX on this first map.
There's a thing as well, you can see the fact that Stanley, he's always had so many amazing performances, show-stopping games on Mirage. This has always been his home map, I'd say, by far. 19 frags on the board right now, topping the scoreboard for the side of Endpoint, the stand dog. And he is just doing work, Smots.
Yeah. On the CT side, it plays towards B, but on the T side, it's usually the connector player. It really is the front force of the T sides from Endpoint. Anyway, their aggression towards one. Actually, the 3 versus 3, even though this is close. Obviously, there's no Kevlar right now for the players from CEX. There's still a very favourable round here for Endpoint.
Yes, indeed. Imi, though, caught out guard. He does have a scout at least to play with, so he's able to find a couple of frags here and there. Very effective with the weapons. He can wield it like an AWP. He's just getting those tags off. Close range CZ combat as well. He will come out on top of an absolutely spectacular headshot. Simply show-stopping right now from Endpoint as Imi goes for the long-range frag as well.
13-5. An 8-round advantage now for Endpoint on the T-side Mirage. Yesterday versus Reason, it was Endpoint's T-sides that really demolished anything Reason could bring to the party. Let's see now if it's the same here as we go into the buy rounds. 5 AKs, fast play towards A from Stanley.
Stanley wants to try and make something work as he will sprint out, spams through the smoke, but not really going to connect onto anything just yet as they have to just try and hunker down for the meantime, restructure this attack and work out what they want to do. The first time we've actually seen really any aggressive map control being taken by CEX.
One minute, 25 on the clock here. Bomb towards ramp. Imi towards Palace. 2 players towards top middle. Wine C outside B, holding for any aggression from CEX. Which there is. LS, and I believe it's Astro there. Pushing in. Actually, Rezu here, not Astro. Astro is going to be playing towards CT ticket booth. Hasn't got the op this time, just the M4. One of the issues right now for CX is the fact that no one has actually bought kits. If the bomb is planted for Endpoint, it will have to be a 10-second defuse by CX. Now the bomb has rejoined the ranks here towards B. Mighty Max has the smoke. He's smoked out towards CT, I believe. There were flashbang as well as the Molotov to try to sell the fake. And here comes the B split from Endpoint. As he'll be pincering in this B side. Rezu has to go huge.
Rezu, tries to do damage, but it's not going to work out. Stanley and YNC that are making everything go in their favor right now. Max does fall towards the A-bomb side, but it doesn't really matter. It's Link and Astro that remain. Sure, they can be fantastic players in their own right, but in this scenario, it's almost unwinnable.
There you have it. As we go into round number 20, it's going to be 14-5 here. Link and Astro forced to save their weaponry into round number 20. A very convincing B split found by Endpoint. It seems like they sensed or suspected weakness from LS and Rezu's hold towards that B bomb site. Thing is as well, towards middle, you saw how passive they played, right? Astro, being the mid player for CEX, played towards CT ticket booth. You had a player towards connector, but the problem is the player towards connector wasn't spotting towards mid, so you saw the shock on Rezu's face as soon as those players from Endpoint were stomping up B short, and they found themselves an easy bomb site to take over. 21-12 for Stanley right now. Incredible performance from him. And right now the same can't be said for CeX. 11 kills for Dom, 11 kills for LS. And about that, they're the only players really stepping up here for CeX.
Going to try and work their way over towards that B-bomb site. Once again, go for this aggressive play. They have a little more utility to aid them as well. But the setup is aggressive for CeX. They're going to be charging straight through. You've got Rezu going to go for the flashbang to aid his teammate that's playing anti-flash, then going to peek into the push and spam away with the SMG. He's actually got the scout. This is very cheeky. It's a close range angle, just a pixel shot he's going to try and go for. Even then, he's only going to get a tag off, just the one, as they might be low. Actually, Fasher and Stanley could go down to a AG if they can get it off. He does peek through. Rezu gets one and the second. Astro does damage as well. YNC will fall, and it's all up to Max now. He can be such a huge clutch player, but not today.
14-6. Obviously, still can't really be too optimistic for CeX for a chance to bring this one back. They are 14-6 down to go into round number 21. An 8-round deficit for themselves on their CT half. No AWP still for Astro. Endpoint may have money as well. Even if they don't, they're still probably going to force it after being reset. And indeed they will. Actually, they do have money. I was looking at the money after they bought, so that's why their money was low. 4 AKs, AWP onto Imi in full set of utility. Imi as well. Already tagging Astro, trying to go for the juggle peek towards middle. Heavy mid presence as well from Endpoint. Last time, or the previous 2 times, they're going for the fast B splits. Let's see if they can be favouring the B-bomb side once again.
Molotovs are going in. YNC with a peek will get 1 frag towards Rezu, but there's the trade back. Fasher though does work. It's a double. Absolutely filthy as everyone is falling on CEX. Fasher is single-handedly a killing machine, an absolute monster on the side of Endpoint. 1 frag away from securing themselves at the very least overtime guaranteed. That 15th round will be snatched by Endpoint.
There you have it. 15-6, and as Dom can do something absolutely magical. As a kit, 2 smokes. Might be able to pick up a smoke as well. There you go, he will. And the AK. Actually, no. He's not going to hedge his bets. He's going to save this one into the next round here. Trying to save his KD for the old HLTV stats. And to that, Jack, we say fair enough.
It's very true. He will get away. Hold on. He's got an AK, 2 flashes, a smoke, and a kit. Full armor as well. So we can take that through into the next round. The essentially final round here if they're not able to get it. They need to try and bring themselves back. They're going to have to get 9 rounds on the trot to even attempt to take this into an overtime scenario.
Exactly. CeX now can no longer win in regulation. As obviously, if teams go 15-15, if CeX were to win 9 on the trot, if it went 15-15, it would force overtime, not actually a win, even if it was like, you know what I'm trying to say. It's like tennis or badminton, exact same format. Round number 22. Let's see if CeX have some more life in them before. We will be seeing the next map, Overpass, which was their pick. So hopefully we see something a bit more cocky, arrogant, some finesse on themselves. Because right now they've been falling flat, playing almost as if they're scared. Going to be grouping up here from Endpoint towards A, 2 towards Palace, 3, actually 3 towards Palace, 2 towards A. They might just go out before the smokes bloom, trying to see if they can catch Link with his grenades out. Let's see, execution happens, and yes, they're already out swinging at Palace.
Oh, it's a bit of a miss as well from Link. Really can't step up to the mark tonight as he's struggling. He only gets the dink on Fasher as well. Astro luckily can trade it back, and the bomb is down in a bit of an awkward spot there. Has it managed to end up over there? Everyone is going down as well on the side of Endpoint as Astro is running through them with the AWP. Dom picks up, takes down Fasher. It's all on Max and Imi. 2 players from the old tripod. Let's see what they can do.
Kits though from the CT side, smokes and Molotovs as well. Max, the only player of utility, double flashbang. As they're going to be swarmed in. Imi has done hand land. 2 nice headshots here towards CT. But I don't think it's. Oh, gets 1. Can he get a second? No, he can't. Astro get the AWP as well onto Mighty Max, and there you have it. 15 to 7. 15 to 7.
They're keeping themselves alive. But it's still the fact they have to get so many more rounds. They're by no means out of the woods just yet.
Exactly that. Let's see. Round number 23 now. It's going to be the AKs retrieved of the dead bodies from Endpoint, so the CT side will have the upgrade of firepower, just a little bit. 14 kills for Astro, a big 4K for him in that round. I believe there's a gap in the smoke as players try to jump on triple box to try and get the bomb, just exploiting that. Obviously, things do happen where things go south, and obviously just got to keep your chin up and keep moving forward. Still though, CeX need 8 rounds in a row if they want to force OT. Astro finds the first one to Imi. Imi will go down towards middle as he went for the dry face towards short. So, bomb towards top middle. CeX, we saw them go for the slow defaults towards mid. You can see how aggressive Endpoint have been playing. Different styles of approach and difference in confidence as well, I believe, is the difference. CeX was so scared to dive from Imi's up towards mid or standing towards connected that actually they're really just hurting themselves. Stanley managed to boost towards window and worm himself through the window smoke. Let's see if he can have any real impact and time Astro here.
Astro, will the AWP just hold the angle? Gonna see what he can actually do as Stanley is trapped there. Just sitting around, waiting for the push to come towards him, ideally. As he is gonna peek out, contact face, gets the shot. Stanley goes down there, looking good to try and stay alive and not be overpowered here, but Max has other ideas. Finds the entry, brings him back into a slightly more manageable spot. It's achievable, but they have to be very careful in how they play this. Astro as well over at CT. He is going to be one of the bigger nuisances. The AWP is so useful in this scenario, but he's whiffed, given away his position. They understand what's going on, but he gets a sick shot on Fasher.
4 versus 2. Molotov and Mighty Max and Wine sees the flashbang. Once again, the CeX have the kits. No smoke, actually a smoke on Astro. And then Molotov to go off towards ramp and C. They have to perfect jump here. Max finds the first, goes for the second, does quite land the headshot though. Wine C last alive, will eventually go down to Link. And there you have it. Link does get the kill in the 3 versus 1 onto the final remaining player from Endpoint, but then again, Endpoint won't really be feeling too pressured here. Obviously, they still have 7 match points. They're going to go for the pause, as they might just equal this round here. Go for a quasi buy, tech down armor. Maybe go for a rush B, maybe jump through the mid-smoke, try to catch Astro off guard, go for a Palace burst out towards the site. But obviously, when you think about the way CeX have been playing the CT side, they've been playing so passive towards, they playing that retake style link towards CT there. Maybe a Palace burst or a smoke towards A wouldn't be too effective. I think the best way to go for them right now is towards middle or towards B.
They just have to get this last round in the bag. And you know as well, there's a massive weight off their shoulders when they realize they're 1 map away from taking this victory, securing the Mountain Dew League slot. Being able to pick up this win here live at EGX, it would be a huge feat for them. And they're so close.
Exactly. After losing their last spot in Premier, let's see if they can get back in it. Maybe big as well. I mean, for Endpoint, there's always the focus on European stuff. There's always European events, European leagues, and European competition. They always try to stay away from the UK scene. And obviously, once we lost the spot in Premier, there wasn't really too much they could do in that regard. They had to play the UK leagues, and thankfully, with the partnership from ESCA and ESCL, they've managed to make Endpoint's comeback or the reintegration into the European scene easier if they do take this one. Then again, CeX, if they won this and had the massive upset, the Cinderella story back into Premier, that would be that'd be something to remember.
Definitely so, but it's not over yet. Let's see, CeX. No second chances here. They can't throw any rounds away or they will lose. It's the forced buy coming out here from Endpoint. Essentially just a quasi they've invested into what they can, but let's see if they can do anything with these upgraded pistols. They have a fairly effective arsenal in close range. Link, though, is waiting, holding the choke point with the AK. No utility as well. They can't flash through, they just have to charge in. He gets the spray down. Everyone will go down apart from Imi and Stanley as they've secured the site. Astro as well. He extends too far. They've now been given AKs. Stanley has armor. You've given Stanley an AK and free reign of the A bomb site. This is a recipe for disaster.
Gonna be pushing the smoke. Eventually spots them and the bomb is planted for CT. Imi has no armor, so he's going to overface. The Stanley does land the headshot. Great team play already shown by Endpoint, and actually Imi's going to overface, give away the advantage. Now they're 1 versus 1. LS has the smoke molotov and the kit.
Stanley, he wins these scenarios every time. He can take these on when he's having a nap. Let's see if he gets it today, though. Of course he will. Stanley shuts it down. Map 1 is secured. Endpoint 1 map away from being your grand final champions here as they have a dominant performance there on Mirage.
16-8.